You know, just 3 Toronto Maple Leafs have scored more playoff game-winning goals than Auston Matthews. It was also Auston Matthews' 4th career 3-point game in the playoffs in Game 2 on Monday night, that victory. Game 3 in Toronto Wednesday. And we're going to talk to Bryan Hayes about that and about Game 2 in just a moment. But first...
What about it?
The playoff edition.
It's phenomenal. You know, I've heard great things about it. My daughter Michaela stopped by there before Game 1. And you know what she actually did? She sat at a desk, like a studio desk, and she watched Bergeron's overtime goal in Game 7 against Toronto and actually got to call the game as if she was Jack Edwards, perhaps.
Send your resumes to 480 Parcel Way in Watertown. What about it?
The playoff edition.
Yes, that's right. Jack Edwards is retiring at the end of this first round of the playoffs. Bryan Hayes, you got the resume ready to go. You send it off to Nesson in New England. Next thing you know, you're the next Bruins play-by-play guy. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Something tells me, a guy from Toronto is not going to fly in Boston, although a lot of Canadians do end up down there, right? There's been a lot of Canadian broadcasters working down in the Boston area, the Nesson area. Why does it have to be 2013? The Leafs won tonight. Why are they even talking about Game 7 in 2013? It's so unnecessary. Leaf fans don't need that. Come on.
I mean, it's Jack, right? That's what he does. He's got to put the focus on the home team, and that's why they love him in New England. And that's why they do not like him in Toronto at all. But Toronto hangs on for that 3-2 win. Are you surprised with the ups and downs of this team, Bryan, and especially after that lackluster Game 1? Are you surprised that they held on after going up 3-2 in the third?
I'm never surprised by the ups and downs, right? This is the Maple Leafs we're talking about. Never be surprised about that. But yes, I am surprised, and I give them all the credit in the world, Jay, that they found a way to close in the third, because everything that had been going against them, against this Bruins team in particular, we all knew the stats coming in. They had not beat them in 8 straight games. They did not hold a lead against the Bruins at any point this season. Never held a lead, and that was continuing going into the third period tonight. And I think the breakdown at the end of the first period is where Leaf fans, the group chats around the world were going crazy, right? Pasternak scores to go up 2-1 end of the first, and people are like, here we go again. They're going to continue to do this. What happens with Samsonov? Do they completely break down? Are the big boys going to show up? Are they ever going to score 3 goals again in a playoff game? Something they hadn't done in 8 straight again leading into this game. So there was a lot going against the Leafs in terms of their recent history against the Bruins and the recent history in the playoffs. But I give them full credit because they battled tonight. I thought they were the better team all night. And I think that third period in particular was huge. I think the Samsonov stop early on Marchand, very symbolic because of who it was against. Matthews was brilliant all night. And as I've been saying, and I think as we know in pro sports, you earn your reputation. The Leafs have earned their reputation as being a team that a lot of people doubt. And their own fans, they want to believe, they want to love this team, they want to trust this team, but they've continued to have their hearts broken year after year after year. So the Leafs have earned that reputation of doubt, of speculation, of wondering if they can actually get up off the mat. And yet, in pro sports, you always have another opportunity, you always have another game to try to change that reputation. It's only 1 win in this series, but that was massive psychologically, getting up off the mat, stealing that win in the third, beating the Bruins for the first time in a couple of years, and now you come home, it's 1-1, and I think if you're a Leaf fan and if you're in that dressing room, that was the plan. Go down to Boston, split the series, come home for Game 3, and you're happy, and that's exactly what happened.
You know, you touched on a few performances there, Bryan. Who stood out to you the most, and what was really a pretty good all-around effort for this Toronto team?
Auston Matthews, it was his night tonight. He was not going to accept a loss. And that's something that Leaf fans have been craving for so long, Jay, right? You talk about the doubt. Why has that doubt been seeping in for so long? It's because players and their star players, their best players who have been here for a long time, these are not kids. This is a veteran roster. We're not capable of grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, we're taking this game and we're not going to accept the loss. And that's exactly what Matthews did tonight. He's one of the 4 or 5 best players in the world. He may be a finalist for the Hart. He might win another Hart. He had 69 goals. but his playoff performance in the past have been okay to very good. Not great, not consistently great, not out of this world. He was out of this world tonight. The Bruins had no answer for him. Ilya Samsonov obviously had a lot of doubters coming in. Didn't finish the season great, didn't play well in Game 1. Has had truly one of the more fascinating seasons in modern NHL history, considering the ups and downs and him being sent to the minors, him being placed on waivers. He could have been claimed by any team in the league. No one claimed him, and the Leafs did a great job of trying to set him straight, and he was outstanding tonight. But I also thought depth players showed up. I thought Brad Treliving had himself a big night. And I know he didn't have a uniform on and skates, but the GM, his fingerprints were all over this win tonight. Bertuzzi and Domi were great, and they've really found something with Matthews on that top line. They were signed last summer. Ryan Reeves was really good tonight in the fourth line. He was signed last summer. At the trade deadline, they picked up Joel Edmondson. He was outstanding tonight. Played a ton of minutes. Only Morgan Rielly played more. Hit, blocked shots, but kept his emotions in check. He's a cup winner for a reason. He was sought after at the deadline for a reason, and he performed in the clutch tonight. Dewar was really good on the fourth line tonight. Also an acquisition at the trade deadline. So I think all around there was a number of different players that stepped up. That's without William Nylander, who I think Leaf fans are hoping, and the Leafs are planning on returning to the lineup in Game 3. Maybe Bobby McMahon. There's still more to give from certain players. But again, there were a lot of Leafs that stepped up tonight. Their backs were up against the wall after losing Game 1, after being down early, tied going into the third in a tough building. They got the job done, and credit to the Maple Leafs. We see what they can bring to the table come Game 3.
And that Game 3 will be Wednesday night in Toronto. Hopefully we get to chat with Bryan after that one. Bryan, thanks for this.